Alright, so today I've got my truck in here. This is a 2010 F150. It's got the 4.6 liter 3-valve engine. And the other day I noticed the engine was ticking. So I had a little tick going on. It wasn't an exhaust leak. And it sounded like it was coming from this passenger side. I couldn't figure out exactly where it was coming from, other than the passenger side somewhere. So I decided to pull the valve cover off, and we'll take a look in here and see what we find, if anything. And so here's the valve cover off. Everything looks nice and clean. I mean, I've always put synthetic oil in here, changed it every 5,000 miles or so. So there's no sludge, everything looks good. But here's what I find. This intake valve here on this third cylinder back, this rocker arm, had all kinds of play. And it's on the base circle of the cam, and this should be tighter like all the other ones. This one here is also on the base of the cam. There's no play in that. This one's loose. So this is the tapping I'm hearing. So I bought a lash adjuster and a rocker arm, and we're going to replace both of those. The cam itself looks good still. So I think we got in here early enough so there's no damage. And so here's what I purchased today at the Ford dealer. This is a roller rocker. Okay, this is the roller that rides on the cam. That end pushes on the valve. This end pushes on the, they call it a lash adjuster, which is this thing, which just looks like a conventional lifter. And of course it's got a port there that fills with oil, so it's pressurized with oil. And I think this is the part that's bad. And it's just leaving a bunch of slop in here, so then this roller was just slapping on the cam. Tick, 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 tick. So those are the two things we're going to replace today. Alright, I don't know if you can see this very well, but I've got attached on here a tool to compress the valve spring so that I can remove this rocker arm. I've got this part is pressed up against the head, so there's support on this part from going this direction. And then this part has got like a fork that goes around the valve stem and pushes on the valve spring just by screwing this nut down. So if you turn this, you have to make sure that you're pushing down the valve as well. You want the valve to go down with the valve spring, otherwise you're going to expose the keepers, and if they fall out, then the valve just falls into the head, then you're pulling the head off. So we want to avoid that. So just make sure you're pushing the valve down at the same time that you're pushing the spring. I put my finger on it. We've made all kinds of space here now. Theoretically we can get this thing out of here. Take a look at it, see what it looks like. Seems like it's going to be a tight fit to get out. But I'm told it will come out of here somehow. There we go. Alright, so I see the problem. And I don't think it's the lash adjuster. The problem is, here's a new roller rocker. And here's the one that came out of it that's frozen. This roller will not spin or rotate at all. And you can see when it stopped rotating, it started to wear. So we're going to have to take a closer look at the cam. And so this is the problem part right here. This roller froze up and would no longer roll back and forth over the cam, and instead was scrubbing the cam. And you can see quite a bit of wear right there. I don't like the look of that, but let's see what we got on the camshaft. Alright, so while this valve spring is compressed, we're going to try to slide this into position and see if we can get it in there. It's close now. Oh, look at that. I think I'm on it. I'm on it. I don't know how much of this you're seeing. There's no play in there now. Let's take a look with a mirror underneath and make sure that I'm on. The lash adjuster, which I am. Oh, there I am. I'm going to take a little bit of 1500 grit emery cloth with some WD-40 on it. And let me see if I can polish up this lobe. And it doesn't scrub on that lifter. That lifter's got a roller. So I think if I just polish this up a bit, it'll be okay. You know what? That looks pretty darn good. Again, it's a roller just kind of rolling over it. And as long as the roller rolls and doesn't get locked up, I think the roller on that other rocker arm took the brunt of the abuse. Be a little softer metal perhaps, and sacrifice the roller and save the cam maybe. I don't know, but this cam looks pretty good, so I'm happy. That's nice and shiny and smooth now. If I close my eyes, I can't tell which one was damaged. I would like to turn the engine a little bit though to get on the other ramp. Let's see if I can do that. Alright, let me see if I can rotate the motor a little bit to see if I can get more access to the ramp there on that cam. Polish it a little more. There we go. Let's see if that's any better. A little more oil on that. A little more WD. Yeah, I mean this sandpaper is so fine. 1500. I mean, this is what you wet sand paint with. So I'm just looking to polish this thing. It looks like the only slight galling was on the actual lobe itself. The base circles seem pretty clean still, so less pressure on it when there's no lift. So I think we're going to be okay. A slight fingernail scratch on it, but not much. I don't want to grind it down to... I'm not going to grind it. Just want to polish it. So I think we're good. I'm happy with that. I'll put it back together and see if she purrs like it used to right up until the other day. Alright, let's try to get this valve cover on here. It tells me this is going to be tricky. No scratching the cam or anything. Coils go back. I think that might be it. Okay, so here we are, back to purring like a kitten. Nice and smooth, no metallic tapping anymore. No check engine lights, no misfires. Looks good, and the whole problem was this rocker arm, or follower, whatever they call it. Got this roller here, and the roller froze up, so instead of rolling back and forth, it was just scrubbing the camshaft. And from the looks of this thing, you'd think that the cam was destroyed, but the cam wasn't bad. I cleaned it up with some memory cloth, as you saw, and now with a fresh new roller on it, I think it'll be just fine. So if you hear some ticking, don't let it go. If I left this thing in here for a few months, I mean, I only heard this for like 3 or 4 days. If you left this in here for months, you would be replacing the camshaft. But I jumped on it right away, and this is what it was. 4.6 3-valve Ford. And there you have it. Thanks for watching.